Good evening and welcome into IMG Academy Stadium for the Ascenders White team taking on the West Oaks Academy Flame out of Orlando, Florida. Ryan Sudol and Jonathan Torres live from Bradenton, Florida. And John, we've talked about the difference, so we know there's a lot of people tuning in, probably expecting to see the blue team tonight. That is the team that is of national prominence, currently number one in the nation. The white team playing the local Florida schedule, bringing in West Oaks right now from Orlando. They are coming off a 52-0 loss against Taylor County. That game back on September 22nd. So they've been beaten up, and as we've always seen with the Ascenders, they have a pretty sizable roster, and that's why we have this split team.
Well, again, it's one of these things where this team is really about preparing them to be on the next team, and also looking for those moments where these players realize what they need to do to make it to that next level, to get to the standard of playing that IMG is expected to put on the field game after game.
And just because the Ascenders white team does not play that national schedule does not mean that they are not full of highlights, as we will see right now with the highlight reel. They took on Kingdom Prep just 2 weeks ago. And there you see the 38-8 victory over Kingdom Prep. We saw the safety, strong defense by the IMG Ascenders, and then you also saw a couple of trick plays in there. Touchdown by Nick Tapino, and again, 38-8, the result over Kingdom Prep back at the end of September. And we will step aside briefly. We will have kickoff in just a few minutes. You are watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
You ever have that day? That day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
And welcome back, IMG Academy Stadium in Bradenton, Florida. Ryan Sudol and Jonathan Torres getting ready for kickoff between the West Oaks Academy Flame and the IMG Ascenders as we take a look at the Gatorade keys to the game.
Yeah, well, taking a look again, these are the fundamentals by which they've really been trying to build this season on. It's handling the pressure of zone coverage, of course, winning on special teams, which IMG is known for, really, is taking advantage of those opportunities, and then slowing down the fast tempo offense. Really, especially for this team, they need to find that rhythm, right? And when you go full speed, sometimes you lose that accuracy, you lose some of that precision, and so making sure that you slow down on that fast tempo offense is going to give them a better opportunity to focus on the game ahead.
And another thing that we have to keep an eye on, we've seen some disciplinary issues. We saw a few weeks ago, Jonathan, the last game that you and I did, upwards of close to 30 penalties. A game that kicked off at 7 o'clock, didn't get out of here until midnight. Both sides of the ball, just kind of some mental mistakes as they were taking on Miami Central, one of the top teams in the state of Florida. As you see the Ascenders getting ready to come out of the tunnel, so you know that the coaching staff will try and have these guys very, very well disciplined and trying to avoid putting that yellow laundry on the field.
It's something that's always at front of mind for IMG Academy, regardless of blue or the white team, is making sure that they're not giving away any yardage or any points they don't have to. And hopefully it's not on the keys to the game, but it probably should be. I hope that we don't see too many penalties in tonight's game either.
And again, thank you for spending your Friday night with us. The IMG Ascenders white team wearing their black uniforms, white numerals, getting ready to take the field against the team from Orlando, the West Oaks Academy Flame. They have a pretty depleted roster, only brought about 30 or so kids to Bradenton. And as we've seen with the size of these IMG players, even what the blue team was able to do against Venice last week, just you can play with IMG for maybe a quarter or two, but sometimes just the size and the strength of these kids is going to wear you down.
Well, again, you don't see a lot of teams that can go toe-to-toe in size. And really what we've seen some teams have some success at when going up against IMG is speed and agility, and that's really where they're having to focus because in strength and going toe-to-toe, never an easy task, especially with the size of some of these guys on the team.
Moments away from the national anthem and the coin toss, we will step aside and have kickoff for you in just a couple of minutes after the top of the hour. You're watching Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV.
Here at IMG Academy, we rise each day with one rival, ourselves. Perfecting our practice to outdo what's been done, because we know the spotlight is stolen after the light runs out. Here, we study more than scouting reports. Here, no stat can ever measure our potential. And the way we see it, podiums are mere stepping stones. Our repetition creates separation, and those in search of shortcuts need not apply. Because in our school of thought, luck comes to those who earn it. This is IMG Academy. We are the Ascenders, and we are on the rise.
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium. IMG Ascenders white team has won the coin toss and have deferred to the second half, so we will get to see that stout Ascender defense as we step aside briefly for the playing of the national anthem. ready for kickoff in Bradenton, IMG Academy Stadium, the location of tonight's game, and the Ascenders wearing their black uniforms with white numerals and blue trim, their chrome helmets. West Oak Academy wearing their away whites with burgundy numerals and pants, and they will go from the south to north, right to left on your video screen to start the game. Again, talked about the slightly depleted roster, only about 23 or 24 active kids. So you're going to see a lot of players going both ways, back to return for them right now. Demetrius Cox and DeAndre Walden.
Yeah, really what you see in a situation like this, like you said, is especially towards the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, you start to see a lot of the players really get run down, and that's where you start to see a lot more penalties, a lot more mistakes.
On to kick for the Ascenders, number 25, Cameron Gillis from Budapest, Hungary, also doubles as a running back. And we are underway. This one will track back to DeAndre Walden. That will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Flame. They'll start from their own 20.
Really, it's not a bad approach, especially, again, talking numbers, making sure that they're preserving their energy to make it through the whole game. It's probably a good thing that they went ahead and just let that ball go into the end zone, giving them some decent starting position here and to kick off the game.
And West Oaks Academy out of Orlando, Florida, currently 3-2, about midway through the FHSAA season. And they will start out in an I formation. The quarterback, one of the captains, Ramesh Shaw, also listed as a running back, and a penalty to start. I believe it was an illegal formation penalty, so we talked about the necessity to avoid early penalties, but the first one is in favor of IMG. It'll move them back to 1st and 15 from their own 15-yard line.
Well, this is something we talked about with Kingdom Prep. Is a very similar team in terms of size, which is that you see this IMG team standing across from you, who, again, in many cases, the players are much larger than they are, and it's intimidating, and that psychological component is also going to cause you to make mistakes.
I formation snap, it's to the fullback, and usually not a wise play call to try to go right up the middle. That was Montre Johnson, the fullback, also doubles as the strong safety, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll stay 2nd and 15 for the Flame. They go I formation, one receiver to each side. And the snap, it is an option pitch out to the right, and this one's going deep. And he stays on his feet as Demetrius Cox gets the first down and then a few more. And close to the 40-yard line, so after the penalty and the stuffed fullback run, they get 25 yards from Demetrius Cox. So from their own 40-yard line, West Oak. And they will take a timeout after getting that significant run. So as the coaching will dictate a little later, you usually don't want to see a team waste a timeout that early. Less than a minute into the first quarter, we saw the blue team down in Venice taking on one of the top teams in 7A in Florida high school athletics. Had it wasted almost all 3 timeouts in the first quarter, and Venice and the Indians ended up paying for it. Blue team winning by a score of 38-12 in front of a packed stadium, just about 45 minutes south of here.
Well, and again, you know, they do need to figure out, though, what is going to work for them against this IMG team, and also what is going to help them preserve that stamina to make it through the entire game, being that they are in such a tight roster. It's obviously not a normal thing to call timeout this early, but, you know, being that they just had a good run, they may be trying to figure out what's going to work for them going forward.
Back in an I formation, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ramesh Shaw, the quarterback. The snap, and again they fake. Look to make a toss pass. Cox is now scrambling for his life. Pressure coming up. And bringing down on the tackle is Alondra Strong. So broken play ends up benefiting IMG, but you can see early on the speed of Demetrius Cox is going to keep this IMG secondary in check.
Absolutely. That was pretty impressive. You know, all he needed was a little bit more room, and he could have done some real damage there. Great run by Cox.
2nd and 12 from their own 38-yard line. Condola Hicks slots out to the right side. They stay in an I formation. And Shaw takes the snap. And he keeps it himself and tries to penetrate that IMG offensive line, and unsuccessful in doing so. Bring up 3rd and long for the Flame. Now needing a big play is West Oaks Academy. They stick with the similar formation that they have been using. DeAndre Walden out to the near side. Demetrius Cox, the tailback. Pressure coming. Shaw looking across the middle end. Almost intercepted by IMG. Alondra Strong, great coverage right in between both Condola Hicks and Andre Nikoluchkin. And that will bring up a 4th and long. Looks like they are going to be bringing out the punting unit.
Now, looking through the roster, it doesn't seem like they have anyone officially listed as the punter. But they are certainly going to want to get some good yardage out of this to put themselves in a slightly less precarious position here against IMG.
The snap is back and pressure coming. And it just pooches a little bit to the IMG 37-yard line, called the 38. So after giving up a big play of 25 yards to Demetrius Cox, the Ascender defense is able to bend and not break. Take this opportunity to remind you guys that you can join the conversation, get instant updates on IMG Academy by socializing with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IMG Academy. Use the hashtag Tomorrow is Ours, and everything is earned. Player goes offside. The quarterback for IMG, Bryson Lucero, has been with the Ascenders for a few years now. He gets the start tonight. The hand is up the middle, and that is Jay Taylor. Breaks across the 50.
Turnover. Fumble on the field by IMG.
So Taylor gives it up, and now West Oaks Academy, basically after that 4th down punt, will get the ball back on their own 49-yard line.
Caught both of us off guard here a little bit because we thought the play was over, and it looked like that hit was hard enough to knock the ball out of his hand.
So Taylor on IMG's first possession. Again, we've seen some games where they've had some slower starts, and usually the 2nd, 3rd quarter, they're able to wear teams down. That just the turnover battle we talked about in the pregame is something that the Ascenders are going to have to be on the winning side of if they want to come out victorious tonight.
Well, and you could hear from here that impact that he took as he was going down. I thought the play was dead, but sure enough, there was a little scuffle for the ball, and they got they took possession.
Now the hand up the middle to Cox. He is brought down from behind right at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration both by Alondra Strong as well as Sky Stefanik. And they will give them just about an inch or so on the play, but it looks like Cox is going to be the workhorse for the Flame.
Well, again, showing a lot of similarity to Kingdom Prep, where they had that one player that was really the playmaker for them. By the end of the game, I mean, he was beat up pretty bad.
Montre Johnson and Demetrius Cox, and now they have that little option play. They try again. This time they go up the middle, and they are able to get positive yards into Ascender territory. Just shy of the 45. We'll call it the 47-yard line of IMG. So a gain of 4 will bring up 3rd and 6. Yeah, not often that you see an I formation played at the high school level, especially with the fullback position at the collegiate and pro levels kind of dwindling away. So it'll be interesting to see how the Ascenders prepare for this. And now they run the option pitch again, and it's a fumble by Cox, and it almost is picked up by Alondra Strong, but knocked out of bounds. So a massive loss for the Flame, but it'll bring up 4th and long and almost certainly a punting situation for West Oak.
Well, they're itching to get the ball back because really, obviously an embarrassing start for IMG in their first possession. Ideally, that would be a great opportunity to kind of turn that around. And all that we get here is West Oak's losing some yardage.
So now back to their own 40, brings up 4th and 19. I believe that is Nick Tapino at the return position for the Ascenders. A little confusion from West Oaks as far as their lineup. The snap is back, and better punt than the first one. Tapino is going to field it. He gets it at the 35, stays on his feet, tries to cut back, keeps his balance, and still fighting for yards, but brought down just about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Tapino not getting a lot of help on that return there. I mean, there were certainly a lot more West Oak players there than there were IMG. Didn't really give him an opportunity to get down the field.
So 7:25 remaining in this first quarter.
This is a personal foul penalty
And the Ascenders are going to get called for a personal foul, so that's going to move them back an extra 15 yards. And the chain gang will have to move with them. Glad they're able to iron it out a little quicker than a game against Miami Central, where we had an 8-minute delay for one penalty.
Well, it's certainly bad enough in those types of situations where the stakes are high, the tensions are high, and then you've got delays like that, which only amp up that energy.
So now Lucero will look to the sideline for IMG. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 22 after that personal foul call. And they give us to Taylor again up the middle, and he's got space. He's up to the 40, across midfield to the 50, and brought down at the 25-yard line. So after the fumble that Jay Taylor had on his first touch, he gets a big gain and deep into Flame territory.
Well, I would say he definitely made up for it, and certainly had to win back his trust from the coaches. Looks like we also might have a West Oaks player there limping off the field, number 13, Santiago Regis.
So 56 yards officially for Jay Taylor out of Oak Park, California. And now Lucero looking to the air. Great protection. Has a receiver, drags his foot. And they're going to say it is caught. And that is Juntoku Koda. And he is one of the fan favorites. If you've been following IMG football for the last few years. One of the favorite guys in the locker room, one of the smaller guys on the field, but he can definitely put a hurt on you. First and goal for the Ascenders. Taylor in motion. Lucero looking. Across the middle. Touchdown! IMG, and it is Juntoku Koda. From just about 10 yards out, a perfect pass to a wide open Juntoku Koda. And the Ascenders take the early lead, and he is pumped up.
Oh, great movement there. I mean, he was certainly had a defender on him going into the end zone, was able to cut to the inside and get plenty of open space to get that pass and make the touchdown.
And now Lucero will stay on as the holder. Snap back, hold down, and it is blocked. So no good. It is 6-0 in favor of the Ascenders, and the defense will take the field back as we take a look at the replay. And you see there Jay Taylor in motion. Koda just slips through that secondary wide open in the back of the end zone, and that puts the Ascenders up 6-0.
Well, heck of a block there again by West Oaks number 50, Charles Anderson, who just showed incredible power and confidence blocking that kick there for the extra point. And certainly, you know, gives West Oaks Academy an opportunity here to possibly get some points on the board and make this game interesting.
Fans, for the latest in IMG Academy gear, visit our online store, shopimg.com. Lots of great Under Armour gear that you can get. Hats, shirts, shorts, warm-up gear. We're rocking
my
our
favorite,
polos.
the hats. The hats. I'm loving the hats, man, especially in that blue. Oh, I need to get me one of those.
Now Gillis gets the leg into it. And it is Walden again. He feels it about the 5. Running to his right, gets to the 20 and a couple more. So same result just about as a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 from just inside their own 20-yard line. And we'll see how they rebound, do the Flames, after giving up that IMG touchdown.
That's what I was saying, you know, early in the first quarter, which is, you know, there's no need for them to really be chasing these ball down or trying to run them back, you know, especially when you got to conserve that energy with the team that you have when you're at 23, 24 players on a roster like West Oaks is. If not, you're not going to make it to the end of the game if you're trying to make every play a big play.
And, John, you can look at the sideline right now. They've got 11 players on the field and not many more on the sideline watching the game. And another timeout for West Oaks Academy. We will take one with them with 6:45 remaining in the first quarter. IMG Academy 6, West Oaks 0. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back, Bradenton, Florida, IMG Academy Stadium, West Oaks Flame. Again, going right to left on your screen, they are down 6-0 after the 10-yard touchdown pass from Bryson Lucero to Juntoku Koda. Now we see a slightly new formation, again trying to run that triple option. They run it out wide, and just for a short result for the Flame, and there is a down player for West Oaks Academy. And
well, second one of the game so far, and I'm not sure if the first player that got injured actually came back in, but he's not getting up and seems to be in quite a bit of pain.
And it looks like the down player is one of the offensive linemen, Charles Anderson. Didn't exactly see what happened on the play, but looks like maybe he may have twisted a knee.
Well, and if he is hurt and not able to continue, this is a huge loss for West Oaks. I mean, we saw him just a few possessions ago in blocking that that extra point against IMG, and somebody with that stature, that power, is somebody that this type of team heavily depends on.
And when you only have 20 or so guys, as we take a look at the replay. Oh, and it looks like number 51, El Sadig Nareen, just rolled up on him, behind him. Completely unintentional, but that did not look good. Walking out on his own power now, but they're going to need him back in the second half, and only having 20 or so kids to play, every player is important.
Well, and I'll tell you the big difference that I'm seeing already between West Oaks and Kingdom Prep, which was the last home game for this team, is that we are not seeing the speed and agility that Kingdom Prep had. West Oaks needs to really figure out what the key is to get around this IMG defense.
Try to run that little triple option play a game. Looks like that is Roy Russell. He is listed on the roster as a wide receiver, a quarterback, and a cornerback. Also still Ramesh Shaw, the captain, as well as Demetrius Cox, who's already ripped off some nice runs, but the IMG defense has been stout. Now Russell in motion, running the option. The pitch is out to Cox. He's got some room. And he is brought down just on the other side of the 20. A short gain for the West Oak Flames.
Alondra Strong, number 23, in on the stop.
Alondra Strong credit on the tackle. So that'll bring up 4th and 5 and another punting situation. West Oaks Academy. And there seems to be a lot of confusion when the special teams unit comes out as far as lining up. On to punt again. Looks like that is the fullback, Montre Johnson. Snap is back. And this one just goes end over end. Will bounce into IMG territory and out at about the 48-yard line. So another short field for the Ascenders. And West Oaks is going to have to find a solution if the Ascenders take a 2-score lead. Got to be careful not to let this one get out of hand too quickly. Is Bryson Lucero back at quarterback. Jay Taylor on his right hip. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. And that's going to be a too many men on the field or illegal substitution for West Oaks. So that'll be an automatic 5-yarder for the Ascenders. And that will put them in Flame territory at the 46.
Well, and that's what really hurts these smaller teams that go up against IMG are these unnecessary penalties. I mean, sure, mistakes are going to be made in a play situation, but you can't afford to give up any more yardage.
Now the hand of Taylor up to the 45, fights forward for the first down and a couple more. And down into the 38-yard line for West Oaks territory. So Ascenders continue to march down the field after the first Jay Taylor fumble. Followed that up with a 56-yard run and adds a few more on that play. 7 yards for Taylor. Now Lucero in shotgun. Takes the snap. The hand is to Taylor. He's got room to the left. Jukes one at the 35-yard line. Fights forward for the 30, close to another first down. We'll bring up second and short, but second and one, call it from the 30-yard line. Jay Taylor already inching towards that 100-yard mark. Two receivers right, one to the left. Now Lucero. Give is to Taylor again. He gets hit right at the 25 and is brought down.
Taylor to about the 24-yard line, brought down once again by number 21.
That was Levante Redding, fullback slash linebacker. I don't think there's a single person on the roster for West Oaks Academy that does not play both sides of the football. Another first down for the Ascenders and another 6 yards for Jay Taylor. And now the play action at Taylor. Looking across the middle, has a man. Chandler Magruder in close. And into the end zone, touchdown. A beautiful strike from 24 yards out. Chandler Magruder gets the touchdown, and the Ascenders double their lead.
Seeing a little limping going on by number 20 of West Oaks, Edric Fortner, right after that. One of the 3 defenders that tried to take him down before going into the end zone. They were unsuccessful. More points on the board here for IMG Academy.
And Bryson Lucero has looked fantastic for this Ascenders white squad. Snap back, hold down, the kick by Gillis. This time is up and good. So with 3:27 remaining in the first quarter, the Ascenders lead 13-0 as we take a look at the replay. Quick little play action, all eyes on Jay Taylor, but then a beautiful precision pass to Chandler Magruder up the seam and just off the hash mark, and he gets bumped into the end zone and helps put the Ascenders up 13-0 after the point after.
No, you really couldn't have asked for a better throw there. Right at the numbers, even despite being surrounded by 3 defenders, still made that completion, and good enough for 6 more points on the board.
So the Ascenders right now clicking on all cylinders. Show no signs of letting up. Even though they're currently losing the turnover battle after the 1 fumble on the first offensive play from scrimmage, they have bounced back and put 2 scores on the board on 2 consecutive drives. And this one falls down to the ground. It is DeAndre Walden who drops it going out wide. He's up to the 20, and he's got some space, and he might have a chance to cut this game back. Decides to bring it. Walden goes down at the 48-yard line. Looked like he may have had some more space down the sideline, but the recovery speed of those Ascender defenders is able to shut them back down in flame territory.
Well, that was an incredible run, and I thought for sure he had a lane there going down the entire sideline. Decided to cut inside, and I think really did maybe cut himself short on that run.
So 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line. West Oaks Academy will try yet again. Unsuccessful on their first 3 drives. Ascenders right now 2 for 3 in scoring on their attempts. Back at quarterback, Roy Russell. I formation, a receiver to each side. A little bit of motion, and the pitch is deep. That one to Ramesh Shaw, who's also been playing some quarterback, and he is laid out, and a flag from the complete other side of the field, and now another late one coming in.
Well, that was a pretty rough looking throw right after that pitch. Not entirely sure who the intended target was.
Looks like they may have been signaling illegal forward pass. Ineligible receiver downfield, so you get that a lot on some of those toss passes. The offensive linemen sometimes just get a little too far downfield, so that will give them another try. Not a loss of down, but it will be a loss of yardage.
22-yard line.
First and 15 from their own 42.
Well, and again, not something you want to do or see, especially after such a great run, and given the field position they currently have.
Now 3 receivers split out wide to the left. 1 lone target to the right of Roy Russell. Snap is back, and they throw a little screen, and that is incomplete. Alondra Strong was sure to blow that up. Had Ramesh Shaw been able to catch it, and that'll bring up 2nd and 15.
Not seeing a lot of strength out of Russell on these throws there. The past 2 throws didn't look great, especially the pitch. It was high. It didn't look, to be an easy catch. Right there, we also see a not-so-great throw there. You got to wonder if the IMG pressure is getting to him.
So West Oaks Academy will huddle up and try to figure out how to break through this Ascender defense. And another timeout by West Oaks, their final of the first half. We will take it with them. 3:02 remaining in the first quarter. IMG Academy 13, West Oaks Flame 0. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back, IMG Academy Stadium here in Bradenton, Florida. Those unfamiliar with where we are just about 40 minutes south of the Tampa Bay area. You could almost call it Tampa Bay extended. West Oaks Academy traveling from the center of the state down I-4. And some movement, a false start by one of the receivers. So that will put them back now. It'll be 2nd and 20, so penalties really affecting West Oaks Academy right now.
Moves the ball back to about the 37-yard line.
Now 3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Ramesh Shaw back at quarterback. Snap is back, and pressure coming. Shaw keeps it himself, and he's got some space. He's into center territory. Able to evade one, gets close to getting the first down, and he might have it. On close to a 20-yard gain by Ramesh Shaw. Looked like the play was broken. The Ascender defensive line just getting right into the backfield of West Oaks Academy, and that will give them the first down.
Well, it looks like they're going to be sticking to the running game. I mean, really, their passing game hasn't been effective so far. Really puts them in more trouble than it does benefit them in terms of field position. And so far, it's what's working for them. So, as we can see right there on that possession.
1st and 10 from the Ascender 43-yard line. Shotgun, Shaw looking, pressure coming. This one, a duck across the middle, and it finds Demetrius Cox and into the red zone down to the 10-yard line. A beautiful play, and it looks like the Ascenders just needed to possibly turn their head. That was a duck. Well, you finds the belly of Demetrius Cox.
You called it early in the first quarter, which is that Demetrius Cox is really the standout player on this team, and right there we see it firsthand. Had a nice pocket for himself. Not really sure that there was much that IMG could have done in that situation.
And now Shaw, the delayed snap will be a false start, and another penalty will bring it back to 1st and 15. It'll be 1st and goal from the 13.
The ball back to the 15-yard line.
Looks like Like the chain gang, a little confused as well. So 1st and goal, no first down possible. They've got 4 opportunities to try and punch it in and get onto the scoreboard, or possibly get 3 back from a field goal. It is Shaw and Johnson in the backfield. A little screen pass, and Demetrius Cox again. This time he is knocked, and it's fumbled. It's loose, and Shaw picks it up, and he's going to try to keep the play alive. Swings out to his right to the 20, and a few flags coming in. That's almost certainly going to be a block in the back or some kind of personal foul, but that was a I was waiting for the Benny Hill music on that play after the ball got knocked loose. Ramesh Shaw able to pick it back up and create some space and almost turn that into a positive play for West Oak.
Well, you got to give them credit, for exactly that. I mean, they saw that a mistake was made. They saw themselves in a really bad position there, and really they were able to hold off some of the damage done in that fumble.
And it looks like it is a personal foul, so from the spot, that is going to hurt. 1st and goal.
Wow.
And it was an illegal back crack. So that will bring them back to the 37. First and goal from the 37. Not a whole lot of plays in the playbook to try and come back from that. First down is out the window. They need to score on this drive.
I mean, I think we can say they'll probably go with another big play to Cox here, maybe even into the end zone.
Fans here at IMG Academy Stadium starting the wave. A nice crowd. No doubt some members of the blue team in attendance watching tonight. After having a week off, snap is back. Hand up the middle. And that is Montre Johnson, the fullback. Gets 5 or 6 on the play, so 2nd and goal. And it is to the 32, so 5 yards on the play for Johnson. Also had some positive runs up the middle, which, as we've mentioned, with the size of the IMG defensive line, is not always an easy task. Ramesh Shaw in shotgun. Johnson in the backfield with him. 3 receivers out to the left. The lone target, the other captain, Andre Nikolachkin, on the far right. Now the snap that gives to Johnson again up the middle, and a nice gang tackle and push forward, and the ball gets loose.
By Evans, number 45.
And it looks like they're going to say he was down by contact before it came out, so down to the 26, another 6 yards, but 3rd and goal from the 26-yard line. 2 more opportunities to try to punch it in and take that 0 off the scoreboard. Again, Ramesh Shaw has Roy Russell, Demetrius Cox, and Condola Hicks. And that is the end of the first quarter. Ascenders 13, Flame 0. We'll have second quarter action for you in just a minute. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
So you love your game? So does he. You say, ain't nobody gonna work harder? He said the same thing. You get an hour of training in before the sun even comes up, plenty of early risers out there. You got the gear, they got the gear. You got a secret weapon, this dude doesn't need one. See, this isn't just a game of inches, this is a game of ounces. And the next ounce you give might just be the one the other guy doesn't. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium. Ryan Sudol and Jonathan Torres getting ready to bring you second quarter action. Ascenders leading 13-0. Want to take some time to thank our sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. Without them, IMG Academy TV would not be possible. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us as West Oaks Academy. 3rd and goal from the IMG 26-yard line. Couple bad penalties that pushed them back, so no first down possible. Ramesh Shaw takes the shotgun snap. Pressure coming. Shaw tries to get the edge, and he is stuck right at the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th and goal. And the Ascender defense yet again bends to let them into Ascender territory, but they do not break.
Well, and again, going up against this IMG defense, and really this applies to either the blue or the white team, is that if you're going to go up against this team, you got to be quick and agile. Going toe-to-toe on defense, going head-to-head here against these guys is never a good strategy.
And they do not have a field goal unit coming out, so they are going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 24-yard line. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. There's the snap. Shaw looking through the air. Back corner of the end zone. Pressure coming, and it is intercepted.
Shaw's back pass is picked off.
And the interception is Alondra Strong. Probably would have been just better off knocking it down, because now IMG gives themselves a much longer field to deal with. But they even up the turnover battle and get their first of the day. So 1st and 10 for the Ascenders, deep in their own territory. Also part of the reason you see the larger crowd here in Bradenton tonight. It is Parents Weekend, so a lot of the parents that are spread out from all over the country coming down. You see Alondra Strong getting tackled deep. And a penalty is offside against West Oaks Academy in the Flame. So now 1st and 10 turns into 1st and 5 from their own 10-yard line. Now the snap is up the middle, finding space, and Jay Taylor again stays on his feet a lot longer than most people would have. Short gain for the Ascenders will bring up 2nd and a long 2. Jay Taylor back in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side of Bryson Lucero. Now the snap. They fake. Nice little drawn-up play there to Montavious Brainy as he stretches forward for the 20-yard line and gets the first down for the Ascenders. First catch for Brainy on the night. Nice 10-yard gain for the Ascenders. Brings them back to their own 20-yard line. Still on the move. Lucero back in shotgun. Now the snap. The give is to Taylor as he finds some space around the left edge and gets knocked out of bounds and just shy of the first down marker.
Finally pushed out of bounds by number 5, Demetrius Cox.
And Demetrius Cox getting credit for the shove out of bounds. One of the bigger playmakers for the Flame that we have talked about. So 2nd and 3 for the Ascenders. Maybe 2nd and 2. Spotted at the 29. Lucero takes the shotgun snap. The give is yet again to Taylor, finding space. Tries to get outside to that right edge. Gets the first down.
Taylor again, number 21.
But not much more.
Bakari Ball, number 3, brings him down. Ball at the
Bakari Ball, fullback / outside linebacker for West Oaks Academy. The clock continues to wind down. 1st and 10 for the Ascenders from their own 33-yard line.
A lot of
Lucero.
credit to Ball there. That could have ended real badly for West Oaks.
And the give to Taylor again. He bounces outside, gets up to the 40 before getting stuck. Great tackle. And that was Levante Redding. So now second down. And 3 from their own 40. The Ascenders continue to move downfield, and they draw Jason Scott offside. So that'll be 5 yards and another Ascender first down. That'll bring it to the 45-yard line. Ascenders continue to get positive yards on just about every play. Lucero stands on his own 40-yard line. Takes the shotgun snap. They do play action to Taylor. He's got room to run. Gets outside, looking to keep it himself, and now throws it downfield and off the hands of 2 players. Looks like it could have been intended for Nick Tapino or Chandler Magruder, and instead goes through both of their hands a little high. I'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, and you got to be careful there because, you know, West Oaks had number 13, Santiago Regis there, who had quite a leap there in between them and easily could have gotten his hands on it as well.
Jay Taylor stays in at tailback. Trips to the right, lone receiver to the left, and another offside penalty. This time it's going to be against Lavelle Henry. So 2nd and 5, and now the ball spotted at midfield. So Bryson Lucero with a hard count that is throwing off that defensive line. You can tell for West Oaks Academy is already getting way gassed. Jay Taylor, same formation. Lucero takes the snap, rolls to his right. Looking for Magruder instead. Has Juntoku Koda again. And Juntoku Koda with 2 big plays. Got that first touchdown that put the Ascenders on the board. And now another first down and a big gain for the Ascenders.
Lucero and Koda right now completely on the same wavelength. We even saw them right there on the screen at the same time. You almost thought, you know, we're seeing a mirror image. I mean, they're just clicking, and that type of rhythm, you know, could be incredibly dangerous against a smaller team like West Oaks.
Koda stands at 5'8", 145. Lucero looking, and that one's going to go off the hands of Jay Taylor, but Koda's a guy that can sneak into the secondary and find some open space, as we saw in that first touchdown pass, and also that 28-yard gain that set up the Ascenders, and now the Lucero incomplete pass. There haven't been many of them today. We'll bring up 2nd and 10. Lucero. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to the left. Jay Taylor will swap sides. 2nd and 10. Now the fake to Taylor's shoulder. Lucero evades 1 tackle. Nice block in the back, and Lucero gets down to the 10-yard line, so what looked like should have been a sack and a loss for 5 yards. Turns out to be a big run for Bryson Lucero. Close to the first down, and it looks like they are going to move the chains.
Ball spotted at the 12-yard line. It is first down for IMG.
Now Lucero. Single coverage on the outside. As Zach Singer, the tight end, to the near side, and a timeout called by IMG with 6:48 to go. They still have the 13-0 lead. It'll be 1st and 10. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
So, you want to be the best? So does everybody else. See, it takes more than wanting it. You gotta show up. And when you show up and camp here, you'll be ready to compete anywhere.
Welcome back. A man in motion. Lucero takes the shotgun snap. The hand is to Taylor right up the middle. Touchdown IMG. The man in motion, Chandler Magruder, pulled a couple of those secondary defenders off, and Jay Taylor, after just getting brushed through the line of scrimmage, gets in for the touchdown.
Oh, scot-free, too. I mean, he just had a clear lane right into the end zone. You really didn't even see a lot of movement from the West Oaks defensive line there. Just don't think they expected it. They might have, as you said, gotten fooled by that backfield motion.
Now the snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it's good. So with 6:43 remaining in the first half, the Ascenders take a 20-0 lead. You are watching Ascender football, and we see the replay there. Taylor breaks through one arm tackle and busts into the end zone, and he has been spectacular. Got to be over the 100-yard mark by now. So after that first IMG offensive hiccup, they have been almost perfect throughout this first half. Again, Jay Taylor dropping the first run that he had. He gained about 10 yards before putting the ball on the turf, and West Oaks Academy was able to recover it, and since then he has just been automatic. See the Hungarian Cameron Gillis back on for the kickoff. Cox and DeAndre, it's not DeAndre Wallen, that is number 13, Santiago Regis, back to return for the Flame. This will go back to Cox. He will field it at the 12, puts it down on the turf again, and pressure coming. Tries to get to the outside edge, but a swarm of Ascender defenders.
Demetrius Cox, number 5, with the return. He is bumped out of bounds.
And it looks like there may have been a late flag that came in.
Seth Lowell, number 36.
And down on the turf for IMG Academy, number 36. Fortunately, do not have him currently listed on the roster. We'll try and get you who that is momentarily. Looks like they may be taking a water break, and there was a personal foul against IMG, so that's going to move West Oaks Academy into a slightly shorter field, back to their own 44-yard line.
We have a timeout on the field, and we also have a personal foul. It's
Looks
a late
like
hit
it is.
moves the ball to the
They're going to take a water break.
West Oaks.
And with 6:33 to go, something that we have seen just about every week in Florida high school football. Temperatures still in the high 70s, low 80s, mostly in the low to mid 80s.
Well, and for those not familiar, I mean, really, the temperature doesn't get any more favorable here until really late December, even mid-January. we get a very late winter here, and what little winter we do get is very short.
I believe last Christmas Day it was sunny and 75 here in the Sarasota Bradenton area. Now the Flame trying to break through that scoreboard. Pressure coming in, a huge sack, and the ball is loose. And it is a fumble, and the Ascenders fall on it, and they get another turnover. What a hit.
Shaw is sacked in the backfield by number 48, Friedhoff Lorenzen.
And Ramesh Shaw, and we'll take a look.
Carter Hoover, number
But a
47,
big play for the Ascender offense, and now they are clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball.
Well, Shaw, again, took a really nasty hit there. It took him a while to get up, and, also just in terms of matchup, I mean, it was, Lorenzen there is about twice the size of Shaw, and so, I mean, that just had to shake him real hard.
Now the Ascender offense comes back on. Lucero, 2 receivers to each side. Man in motion is Taylor. And they go across the middle and almost intercepted. Intended for Chandler Magruder.
It'll be second down.
Well, props to their defense there, because they had a really good read on exactly where that play was going. You had 3 West Oak defenders that were in really good position to catch that throw had it not been knocked out of play.
And 2 receivers to each side. The hand is to Jay Taylor, who gets tripped up, breaking through his offensive line, but falls forward for a couple. Bring up third down for the Ascenders. Third and 8, they gave him 2 on the fall forward.
It is 3rd and 8 from the 34-yard line.
So 3 receivers bunched to the right of Lucero. Still has Jay Taylor on his right hip. And snap is back. Lucero rolls to his right and has a wide open Chandler Magruder, but it jumps and bounces right off of his hands and falls incomplete. We'll bring up 4th down for the Ascenders, and we'll see if they bring on the punting unit or keep the offense out. It looks like they're going to keep Bryson Lucero and the Ascender offense on the field. So 4th and 8, trying to impress the parents on Parents Weekend and Parents Night. And Lucero with the empty backfield. Getting the adjustment from the sideline. See Dane Saltarelli now sneaking in at tight end. And then it will just be a little pooch punt as the Ascenders try to down it. And it is down to inside the 5-yard line, it looks like. So now the Ascender defense is going to have some wide open appetites to try to create another turnover and have that short field.
Well, considering, that huge turnover there, I mean, it's really shocking that they weren't able to capitalize on that and really get into the end zone again.
And now I think the officials are having a brief conference as to where exactly the ball should be downed. And it looks like they are signaling touchback, so even though the ball was touched inside the 5 or 10 yard line, it was not possessed, so West Oaks Academy going to get a little bit of a break. But still a long way to go to try to get on the scoreboard before half. 5:40 to go. They trail 20-0. Now Shaw back in shotgun. Takes the snap. Keeps it himself. Finds some space on right tackle. Pressure coming in. They are going to say he was down about the 37-yard line, so a nice quarterback keep for Ramesh Shaw, who's listed as running back and linebacker, and has done a pretty good job tonight at quarterback.
Well, great run by him. Also, great speed, just like Cox has had throughout this game. If they continue to capitalize on that, they could really get some great field position and possibly put some points up on the board.
Now the snap back. Shaw's going to keep it again himself. Pressure coming, and the Ascenders all over him, and down he goes, and there's going to be a flag. Looked like a possible horse collar tackle.
George, number 94, in on the stop.
And it's not. It's an illegal block in the back.
We have a holding penalty against
It looked
West
like.
Oak.
So that'll move the Flame back another 10 yards.
Brings the ball back to the 27-yard line.
So 1st and 20 from the 27. West Oaks Academy not doing themselves any favors with some of these unnecessary penalties. It is Shaw and Johnson in the backfield. Play clock winding down. Shaw waiting the snap. And it will be a delay of game, so another 5 yards. So 1st and 25 now from the 22.
Delay of game. Brings the ball back to the 22-yard line of West Oak.
Sender defense has been great all night. Still has that 0 up on the board for the opposing team, the West Oaks Academy Flame. Now the snap is back. Pressure coming. Throw across the middle finds Cox, who loses his footing. Gets back to the 26 or 27-yard line. I give him a generous spot up to the 29. PC Daniel getting in on the tackle will bring up 2nd and 19.
Well, and as we've been saying throughout the game, I mean, some of these guys are playing on both sides of the ball, and I'm sure they could not get this halftime here any sooner. I mean, I'm sure they're just begging for it.
Now Shaw looking to go back to the air. Pressure coming, throws a duck, and it is intercepted. It looks like it's Alondra Strong. And back into West Oak territory, but another turnover in a short field for the Ascenders. And Alondra Strong with the pick. It'll be 1st and 10 for IMG.
Well, Demetrius Cox there trying to make the best out of a bad situation as he tried to rip the ball out of his hand. No luck there. Goes down with the ball, and IMG with the turnover.
Will the homecoming court baseball program and lacrosse program please meet at the Gatorade tent in the northeast corner of the
So now
stadium?
from the West Oaks 47-yard line, Bryson Lucero going to try to increase that Ascender lead. Now got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Jay Taylor again on his right hip. Moves over to his left. Lucero changing it up. At the line of scrimmage. Now there's the snap. The hand is to Taylor, who has space up the middle to the 40. Puts a stiff arm down. He's up to the 30. And finally brought down just around the 25. So well over 100 yards now is Jay Taylor. After that huge gain, straight up the middle for IMG.
Before he gets to the 25-yard line. It's an IMG 1st and 10. A 22-yard run for Taylor.
They will give him the 25-yard line. The Ascenders already ready to go. Now Lucero takes the snap. The hand is to Taylor again. He goes left, gets up to the 20 and falls forward to the 15-yard line, and another run for Jay Taylor.
Redding, number 21, with the stop.
Nine yards on the carry, 30 on his last 2.
This is a personal foul
And
against
IMG, that's going to bring them back a little bit. A personal foul against the Ascenders. So after the big run by Jay Taylor, it's going to be 2nd and 1 from the 16 instead.
To the 30, 1-yard line.
It's Going to be a loss of 6, so it should be first and 16 from the 31-yard line. Lucero in shotgun. 2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like that is Chandler Magruder now at tailback as he dances his way forward and tries to find some space. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage and is brought down out of bounds. It was Jalen Jenkins, wide receiver, strong safety. But the yardage that they lost on the penalty, they gain back. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 7, so the chain gang was wrong. So 3rd and 7 from the 23-yard line. Gain of 7 for Chandler Magruder on that last run. And in motion is Saltarelli. Now option for Lucero, and that should be an incomplete pass, not a fumble.
Nonetheless,
like that'll bring up 4th down for IMG.
Horrible mistake there on that. Just, again, a lack of communication. You know, we've seen the chemistry that Lucero's had with Coda, not seeing it right there. I mean, he literally threw the ball, bounced right off his helmet, and straight to the floor. Just not communicating on that play.
4th and 10 from the 25. IMG's offense with less than 2 minutes to go. Opportunity to still get a first down before reaching the end zone, but I've got a feeling you'll see Bryson Lucero try to find someone just about 25 yards down the field to add another score. Now Lucero takes the snap, looking in the air, has time to throw, has a man, and it's Saltarelli. It's in and out of his hands. And that will be a turnover on downs. So 1st and 10 for West Oaks, and a little case of the drops for some of the IMG receivers tonight.
He should have absolutely had that. You know, it was within his reach. Still even had a little farther room above him. All he had to do was pull that ball down. I think considering that he had a defender right in front of him, that was the right throw to make, and he just wasn't able to hold on to it. Basically just swatted it down. It seemingly. I just don't think he had the grip he needed to make that a complete reception.
The IMG defense has been spotless. They've forced a few turnovers and have yet to give up any points. And see the 2-minute drill for West Oaks Academy, who has turned over the ball on their last few drives. Looks like it is Ramesh Shaw back in at quarterback. Snap is low, the hand is up the middle, and some pressure coming, fighting for some extra yards. That is Levante Redding, listed as a fullback and linebacker. And a short gain for the Flame. So Shaw. Still in at quarterback, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Takes the snap, looking downfield, pressure coming from IMG. Shaw's got to get rid of it. He just tries to run out, and he does take a step out of bounds after avoiding a few IMG defenders. Cole Stash, the defensive lineman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, putting some pressure and forcing him out of bounds. We'll give him a loss of 1 on the play. Less than 30 seconds to go, but it doesn't look like West Oaks Academy is in much of a hurry to try and score before the half, and they'll be happy to be down only 20 as the clock winds down, and the Ascenders not wasting any timeouts either, as we're down to 10 seconds. And they take the snap, maybe one last shot downfield, and it is Walden, and he evades 1. And pressure coming, and he is down, and that is how the first half will end. IMG Academy 20, West Oaks Academy 0. And they go into half. We'll have a 15-minute break, and then second half action. The West Oaks Academy Flame make at halftime to try to find a way to top this IMG Ascender defense. Again, 20-0 in favor of the Ascenders. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
What happens when the pressure builds? When victory hangs in the balance? When they say, you can't, no way, give up, we rise. What happens when the muscles become weakened? When the will to win is overcome by the fear of defeat? We rise. We rise because we know we have one chance, one opportunity to be great, one legacy to leave. So when victory seems impossible, we make it possible. And when the body feels like it can't take it anymore, the heart says yes. The spirit says one more. There is no man too important for one team. No game too big to overcome. How bad do we want it? Well, that will be determined in the trenches, battled under the lights. We have something to prove, and we won't hold back. This is our time, our game, our home. We rise because we are IMG.
Originally from Nigeria, the meaning of the last name is Osigwe is warrior. My warrior is somebody who, who is a leader, set a good examples, never gives up.
When you're a warrior, you're competitive. So competitiveness is just that's how we were raised. My dad has been competitive all his life.
When I was 12, I was playing in the West African region, a couple of ITF tournaments, a couple of challenges. At that particular time, it was survival. The most important thing for me was using tennis to get out of this uncomfortable situation.
My dad coming to USC, he kind of came in playing. He was a tennis player. He's always told me stories about how when he was like 12 years old, he had to travel by himself, and not a lot of people can do that, especially at the age of 12. Coming from nothing, then trying to make it by yourself it's really tough. But it's also very inspiring for me just to know that my dad has been through so much. So it just kind of pushes me. So that's just something he just taught us. So all three of us have just always grown up being competitive. We don't like to lose.
Looking at when he was younger, studying tennis, I think actually he helped Whitney to get better because they play every day and fight.
I came out on the clay courts in the back when I was younger, and I didn't really wear tennis clothes. I wore jeans and boots to play, but I played with my brother back when he did play tennis, and we would always argue about the score because one of us would cheat. And so, he comes over and watches for a bit sometimes, but when I'm on a changeover, he just talks about how he's so much better than me and he can beat me and stuff, but that's obviously not true. Well, I'm just starting out in the pros, so I want to get a higher ranking there and play some top players and do pretty decent against them. And also this year, one of my big goals is to finish juniors #1.
I told my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, even my whole group that I play with. I want to be #1 in the world for pro.
If there's one person I want to be in front of me, it's her, so.
They are very competitive in their sports. but they look out for each other. Victoria sat on the bench, watching Whitney develop, at the same time cheering for her. So, I would say she's lucky she have a big sister to follow her footsteps.
I honestly think she listens to me more than she listens to my dad. So I just repeat what he says back to her, and I give her some advice from how I feel being a daughter and student and an athlete still on court as well. I just have to remember that there's always, whatever I do wrong, she's gonna do wrong too. So I have to just try and do what I can to be good at it, so I know that she can do the same.
It's good because I would learn stuff from them to do in my game, like to have a good attitude and how to hit the ball and like on the footwork, what to say to yourself, all those things.
I'm a tough coach and a tough father. It's good to be tough, but at the same time, I think you have to balance it. Me being a coach is to teach the game of tennis, and me being a father is to teach the morals. So when you combine both together, I think it's a good chemistry.
Yeah, it's great. He's always available, and he understands me better than anybody else can, and I feel more comfortable with him than I probably ever would with anybody else. So, I mean, obviously at home he's a dad, and on the court he's a coach, so the fact that he can play both roles is really great. Heading into the French Open, I practiced a lot, I played a lot of matches.
I was coaching a lot. I was coaching over the phone. I woke up every morning almost about 4 a.m.
And it was more mental, like calm your nerves, stay positive, do your routines, but tactical-wise, it's just play your game and do what you usually do.
When she got to the finals, we kind of went back to our playbook, and then we knew she was going to win it.
It was actually my 5th match point, so I was going big, and I ended up making the big shot. But at the end, I was super happy, but I was really tired, so I just wanted to sit down. Tennis, you have to find ways to do things on a bad day, on a good day, so it's definitely taught me to find ways in life, and that not everything's going to be perfect, but you have to find a way around it. It's definitely a goal to exceed past what he's done, and I think I'm on the right path to it. But yeah, he just has experience that he always brings to me, so it's helping.
It's a family-oriented place. I mean, you guys can see it speak for itself. Everybody here is loving and caring. My job is to help my kids succeed, and I will not be able to do this without my wife, Jessica. She does a lot behind closed doors, and as a matter of fact, she does more than I do. And if I can come with 0 and raise my kids to be in this level, I think it speaks for itself. Everybody have the opportunity to learn from their elders. The journey that I have taken, either good or bad, I've passed it to my kids, and then I'm sure that wisdom is going to stay in them. My job is to help them succeed, and I think I'm doing my job.
So you love your game? So does he. You say ain't nobody gonna work harder? He said the same thing. You get an hour of training in before the sun even comes up? Plenty of early risers out there. You got the gear, they got the gear. You got a secret weapon, this dude doesn't need one. See, this isn't just a game of inches, this is a game of ounces. And the next ounce you give might just be the one the other guy doesn't. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
So I started picking up golf when I was 6. First, I started playing golf because I see my dad play golf, so I just want to spend more time with him. And then my mom started playing golf too, so we as a family get to play and spend more time during the weekend. Like the first 2 years I played so bad, but then I keep playing better and better, and that's like the fun part of it. My mom and dad are very supportive. Like they always told me that like you can do it. They let me choose my path. I played a tournament in West Palm Beach, and one of the coach from IMG went to watch me play. So I came to visit at IMG. I was like, oh wow. This is a very tough decision because we're gonna be like 1,000 miles away from each other, but if we focus on the future, it's like we have more opportunity here. And I decided to come to IMG. Moving here is very difficult because the culture are different. Everyone speaks like different languages. But then I met a girl across the hallway, and she became my roommate on the 2nd and 3rd year. She's very nice, and she like brought me out of the room so I get to see more friends, so I get to use more English. It's kind of hard like processing, like when you say something, I will think in Thai and try to translate and talk back. But now it's kind of like, okay, you say it, I talk back. When I was in 7th grade, my goal was to one day play a tournament, like junior tournament in the US, so that more colleges get to see me and get like scholarship to the college. That was like the future back then. Anika Invitational is like one of the biggest tournament in the US. I was very happy. That's like the best round I ever shot before, 65. That's my first win of AJGA event too, so beyond my dream. Mom and dad always told me to do my best and be patient on what I'm doing, just stick on the progress, and one day it will be my day, and it's like happened.
We rise every morning with the promise of today, waking our tired muscles, focusing our restless minds. The echoes of those before us ring across the courts, blow across these fields. This is our sanctuary, a place where legends are made, where we rise up to every challenge, learn from every fall, step out of our comfort zone. Because the only comfort we know is filled with sweat and the scent of victory. So today, like every other, we press on, pushing the limits, defining what it means to be competitive. We'll let you in on a little secret. We can never reach our potential. Then what? We're done? No. What may be our limit today will be surpassed tomorrow, again and again and again. And when our body needs rest, we service the mind, the engine that helps us outsmart, outplay, outlast. Innovation gives us that edge. Vision charts a course for our future. It's not about chasing dreams or some imaginary sense of control. The only control we really have is how hard we try to learn, to persevere, to win. True champions are as competitive in the classroom as they are on the field or court, and they'll pursue a worthy cause with as much heart as they leave in the arena, because they know service strengthens more than the spirit. When the difference between good and great comes down to 1/10 of a second, unwavering focus, or endless endurance, well, that's what we're all about. That's why we rise every morning, knowing there are no limits to greatness. Limits are for speed signs, not leaders, not champions, not us. We are students. We are athletes. We are leaders. We are IMG.
Greetings, everybody, and thank you for joining us. On the show, we'll be discussing today's youth.
This is a generation that's been completely spoiled.
They don't want to work hard, but they really, really, really want to succeed.
They're slackers.
I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks.
They have no discipline, no work ethic whatsoever.
Follow through. Dropping that shoulder, come on.
They think they're so great at everything.
Keep pushing, C's.
Strong legs, one body, one more.
I mean, they just need to wake up.
They're stuck with phones in front of their faces. You know when I started working? When I was 13 years old. You won't see that today.
They all think it's Friday. I can't work today.
They're lazy and entitled and
Unmotivated, selfish,
crabby.
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium. Ryan Sudol and Jonathan Torres getting ready for second half action. The Ascenders right now on top of West Oaks Academy and the Flame by a score of 20-0. Those scores starting off, Juntoku Koda had a touchdown catch early in the first quarter. That put the Ascenders up 6-0 after a missed extra point. And then the very next drive for IMG, a Chandler Magruder 24-yard touchdown reception off the hand of Bryson Lucero. Put the Ascenders up 13-0. And then Jay Taylor, who's got well over 100 yards rushing so far in the first half, helped put the Ascenders up where they are right now at 20-0 during halftime. Saw the baseball and lacrosse programs getting honored, as well as the homecoming court. IMG is not just about football. They've got baseball, soccer, lacrosse, golf, tennis, many other activities, and mental training, physical training, spreading in all different countries and all different areas of the world. So it's a lot of people to honor, and they like to do it at halftime, a lot of these games, to recognize the different programs and get them some exposure that you might not necessarily see on IMG Academy TV.
Well, and you can't say enough about what a unique program and facility this is. It is a world-class facility. It's a professional development facility as well. We do see a lot of professional athletes, both at the Olympic and professional level, come here and train throughout the year. And a lot of that bleeds into the other sports programs here on campus.
So this will be the first kickoff for West Oaks, and they will send this one back. I believe that is Tavius Brini, who has a catch to his name in this game as well. He gets the ball back to the 37. So good starting field position for the Ascenders as they go back on offense for the first time in the second half.
Well, and I think it might be a good time to also remind those who are watching who maybe didn't catch you mention, at the start of the game, that really this team also has some players that have played on both teams, both on the blue and the white team. And so in reality, the competitive level is still elevated. This isn't what some might call a junior varsity team.
Now Lucero has Jay Taylor. They go to the air to start. Getting a few yards, number 84, Nick Tapino.
Lucero's pass complete to Nick
Actually
Tapino, number 84.
Born in Tokyo, Japan.
A pickup of about 4.
Second and 6. Lucero back in shotgun again, 2 receivers to each side. There's the snap. They're going to stay in the air across the middle, and it's caught. That one going to Zach Singer, the tight end, out of Paradise Valley, Arizona.
Well, and a good dive by him there. He had 2 defenders coming right at him, and that could have ended real bad for him if he hadn't taken a dive towards the end of that catch.
Apparently they're going to say that was in fact incomplete. Looked like he held that throughout the whole process. Flags. Pressure coming against Bryson Lucero. We'll see what the call is.
This is an illegal substitution against West Oak.
So an illegal substitution against West Oak will put IMG up at a 3rd and 1. Lucero has some help in the backfield, and they go back to Jay Taylor. He's got the first down and into Flame territory.
Jay Taylor, number 21, the ball.
And after he crossed the 50, looks like he got stuck up a little bit, but the first down for the Ascenders keeps the offense moving in the right direction.
Ball spotted at IMG's 49-yard line.
And Lucero and Taylor in the backfield. A snap. They fake to Taylor. Lucero runs to his left. He keeps it himself. Shakes one tackler and falls forward into West Oak territory, close to a first down.
Well, it was a great run. I thought for sure he was going to get stopped a little closer to the 50-yard line there. Was able to kind of bump to the outside of that one defender. Got about another 7 or 8 yards out of that run.
I'll bring up a 2nd and 3. IMG in Flame territory on their 43-yard line. Now Lucero takes the snap. They run the option. It's a little shovel pass to Magruder, who's got space. Falling forward to the 25-yard line. Beautifully run play, and while everybody had their eyes on Jay Taylor, and now some extracurriculars. And looks like
to the 25-yard line of West Oak. It is an IMG first
Jay Taylor tried to pull a player off after the Jalen Magruder went down. No flags, but some extracurriculars in the game getting a little chippy. 10:30 to go in the third quarter. Magruder now checks in at tailback. One man in motion is Dane Saltarelli, and that's Coda in motion as well. They give to Magruder up the middle, has space to his left. He breaks up at the 15, and a nice tackle.
Magruder off the left side for about 8 on the play.
Looked like Lucero was trying to get ahead of him there to maybe clear some room to give him some additional space to make a run for the end zone. Wasn't able to do it in time. Of course, he went down there.
So Magruder will bring up second and three from the 18-yard line of West Oak, and an official's timeout with a downed IMG player. It is Magruder.
Timeout on the field.
And he's got kind of a dazed look on his face. Not sure if he took a shot to the head. It looks like he's pointing at his knee. Taking a look at Chandler Magruder. Take this time to remind you, join the conversation. Get instant updates on IMG Academy by socializing with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IMG Academy. Be sure to use the hashtag tomorrow is ours and the hashtag everything is earned. So Magruder's had some positive plays. He got that second touchdown for the Ascenders. And now finally getting up on his own power, the second member of this IMG white squad that had to be helped off of the field. So good to see him walking on his own power. So we'll see the offense back out. It's Jay Taylor, Juntoku Koda, Dane Saltarelli. And now wide to the far side, the tight end, Zach Singer. So some big targets for the Ascenders. Bryson Lucero back in shotgun, takes the snap, fakes to Jay Taylor. Has Nick Tapino, finds space at the 10. He's going to get close to the end zone. Touchdown Ascenders. Nick Tapino takes it 18 yards. Another touchdown pass for Bryson Lucero. And the Ascenders add to their lead. It's 26-0, extra point pending.
Well, all the credit there to Tapino. Had great visibility on the field ahead of him. Not a very deep field, but he saw he was practically surrounded there on his just to his left by the West Oaks Academy defensive line there, and was able to make the quick move out to the far right, to get into the end zone.
Now the extra point, Gillis boots it up and through. So with 9:37 to go in the third quarter, IMG leads West Oaks 27-0. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. As we take a look at the replay, there you saw the quick play to Jay Taylor, and then Tapino catches at the 20. A beautiful screen and excellent blocking there by Dane Saltarelli to help spring Tapino out. And just about 8 points away now from getting a possible running clock in the second half. So this will be the first times we see the Ascender defense in the second half.
Demetrius Cox, number 5, and Roy Russell, number 1, are deep.
So So Cox and Russell back, two guys that have made some big plays for West Oaks. They have been, unfortunately, not able to get into the end zone yet tonight, as the Ascender defense has been able to shut them down completely. So Cameron Gillis will try and start us off. And this one going deep, and that will be Russell. Fields it at the 10. Running to his right, gets up to the 20. Dances through a couple defenders and tries to break outside, but gets up past the 30 and down close to the 35-yard line. So a nice return, 25 yards for Roy Russell.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of a conversation was had in the locker room during halftime for West Oaks, because they need to figure out how they can get around this IMG defense and get some points on the board. Really, the penalties haven't even hurt them all that much. I mean, it's cost them some yardage, but really not in any kind of a situation where you think they could have scored.
And we've seen a few different players for West Oaks play quarterback. Primary one has been the captain, Ramesh Shaw. He is lined up in shotgun, has a receiver to each side and two running backs, and now they try to run an option, and Shaw almost gets taken down by his own player, and he gets up past the 40 and close to midfield. That play, it looked like almost one of his offensive linemen almost tackled him himself, and another downed West Oaks Academy player, and it is Lavelle Henry. This is the second time we have seen him down for an extended period. And with that down player, he looks to be in a lot of pain. We will remind you, you can find all of your IMG Academy gear at shopimg.com. Always new stuff being put up there. We've got a nice in-stadium student gear shop as well. So a lot of nice, and it's good to see throughout this Bradenton and Sarasota area. The more you see it pop up, you see the Ascender logo on some of the car decals and some of the hats and sweatshirts, and just show how it's being integrated into the community. So be sure to check out shopimg.com.
Well, not only that, you got great brands that are backing, this IMG team that make for great products, so, and besides, you got to admit, it's a pretty cool logo.
It is a very cool logo, and part of the reason those that aren't aware, not just do they have the school teams, but a lot of professional athletes come and train here in the off season. Last year, the Oakland Raiders made a trip to IMG Academy, and I believe they have plans to do so again this season. Many internationally renowned soccer teams from South America and well as Europe come in here and have some showcases in their off season. So
now the number kind of escapes me. I think it was somewhere around 24, was it, Olympic athletes that trained here during or leading up to the last Olympics.
Names like Maria Sharapova, Roger Federer's been known to be seen on campus every once in a while, so never know who you're going to run into in Bradenton.
Well, you mentioned Maria Sharapova, and again, for those watching, little history that this campus started off as a tennis academy.
Now has blossomed into many successful programs in other sports, as is evidenced here tonight by the Ascenders white team. Pressure coming for Shaw. He's going to try to look up and get rid of the ball and trying to create more space, and lots of blocking to help create this play and break it loose as he's going back and is finally brought down from behind.
This is Shaw with the keeper.
Gotta admit, I was cringing a little bit on that play because I was not thinking he was going to get out of that in one piece. I mean, he was certainly dodging and moving back and forth as much as he could. I thought it was going to end up pretty badly for them.
Shades of the old Walter Payton going from sideline to sideline before finding some room up front. He gets to midfield and somehow turned that into a gain of 7 to bring up 2nd and 3. And it is Shaw again, and great blocking by the offensive line, and possible signs of life in the second half for West Oaks Academy. And a shotgun snap. They're looking in the air. They throw, and it is complete, and forward progress for the receiver, probably just shy, and it looks like they may be calling for a measurement. They are going to call it a first down. So he caught it in front of the yard to gain. But forward progress was stopped, so they'll give him the first down.
First down at the IMG 47-yard line.
Well, and really what West Oaks needs to do here is to stay penalty-free and stay focused on what's working for them, and that's the running game.
So Ramesh Shaw has Walden to his left and some help in the backfield. And they give again to the fullback right up the middle, and he puts the ball on the ground, and it looks like it might be IMG football.
Johnson, number 10, the ball carrier.
And it looked like as he stretched it out, he may have been down as he was putting the ball, and they are going to say it's still with West Oaks Academy.
Griffin, number 72, recovered the fumble.
So I guess they'll say the ball was down as it was outstretched in the runner's hand. That was Montre Johnson. Some more positive yardage, 2nd and 7 now from the IMG 44. Now back to I formation, a receiver to each side. Now they change it up the middle and trying to bust through, and a huge gang tackle in the middle of that pile.
Cox, number 5.
And the size and strength of this IMG defensive front is not one that you typically want to try to run up the middle on, as evidenced by what we've seen on the national stage with the blue team, an offensive line that in size is bigger than a few NFL rosters.
No, you're absolutely right, you know, and even this team here, you know, you do see a considerable difference. I mean, there are a few players, even on this West Oaks team, that kind of match up in size and weight, but for the most part, it's, you know, when you kind of add it all up, it's a stark contrast.
So a timeout for West Oaks at 3rd and 10, a necessary play for them to get. They don't want to give IMG a short field, trailing by 27 again in Florida High School Athletic Association. When the lead becomes 35 points, the clock will continue to run with only a stoppage at the half.
968-381. Take your winning ticket to the table by the front gate.
Now the IMG defensive huddle right now, probably just saying keep doing more of the same and shutting down West Oaks.
Well, and here we're also going to start seeing really what this second team was designed for, which is to give more players time on the field, a real game time experience, especially when you've got this kind of a point deficit. You're going to see some more of these guys that have maybe been sitting on the sideline for some of the game come out and play.
3rd and 10. Must-have play for the West Oaks Flame. And they go back to I formation. That is how they started the game. Now the hand was supposed to be up to Johnson right up the middle and shut down in the backfield. And a sack. That'll bring up 4th and long. Should be a punting situation here for West Oaks.
Well, it seems like he went to his left and second-guessed that move there. When he tried to go back over to his right to see if there was any room on that side, wasn't able to get around even his own players, and just didn't, by then it was too late. You had the IMG defensive line all over him.
So we're seeing if they're going to keep the offense out. Play clock running, and not sure if they're lining up in a punt formation yet, because they will give IMG a short field. Now looking deep. Shaw launches one up. Pressure coming in, almost intercepted by IMG. No flag, so it'll be a turnover on downs and a short field now for the Ascenders.
Well, a lot of credit there. You know, was a long throw, a pretty clean throw as well. DeAndre Walden there. Looks like he was able to bring the ball down, but wasn't able to hold on to it and actually had it bounce off his knee. But regardless, would have been a great play to see that kind of through to the end, but really wasn't able to pull it off, especially with an IMG center there right behind him.
There was an illegal shift on the play against West Oaks Academy, but that penalty is declined. So 50 yards for the Ascenders to try to take a 5-score lead. Looks like we may have a new Ascender in at quarterback. And the run right there is Juntoku Koda.
Number 14 is the new quarterback.
And the new quarterback is Isaac Pinheiro out of Massachusetts. Stands at 6'1", 215. He is a part of this IMG Ascender junior class of 2019.
Well, we saw him warming up a little bit here on the sideline, just going through the motions, getting into a rhythm here. It's going to be interesting. First time we've seen him this season. And, and then again, he's got some big shoes to fill, especially in this game, because Lucero has been pretty stellar.
2nd and 7 from the 47 of West Oaks Academy. Pinheiro takes the snap. The hand again is Dakota, who's got some space, already with a touchdown catch on his stat sheet tonight. Gets a few yards and brings up a 3rd and 4 for the Ascenders.
Had the space ahead of him and had the speed too. Got tripped up there, and that's what you got to do sometimes against these guys. And right there, West Oaks has caught on to that little detail that they may not be able to tackle him, but if they trip them up just right, they might be able to stop them.
And Juntoku Koda, also the second of 2 players. We already mentioned Nick Tapino from Tokyo, Japan. And they hand again to Koda, who falls forward close to the first down marker. It's going to be 4th and inches. Yeah, and so many different countries represented outside of the United States. Also Canada, Mexico. We mentioned the kicker Cameron Gillis from Budapest, Hungary. Also have a Norwegian from Oslo, and also Poland. So just incredible to see the diversity on this IMG squad. Now Pinheiro lines up under center, and a false start. Falls forward, gets enough.
A couple of flags on the play. False start against IMG.
So it looks like we will be getting the Ascender punting unit out. Another chance for DeAndre Walden to try and make some magic happen. Just mentioned the Hungarian Cameron Gillis lines up as punter.
Gillis will punt for IMG number 25. Walden is deep, number 6 for West Oak.
Looks like a timeout may have been called by IMG, and it was. Looks like there was some confusion in the huddle. Possibly we have seen IMG on a few occasions run some fake punts and have run some of their trick plays with some pretty good success on both the blue and the white teams this year.
Well, and just there, not sure if it came up on the screen here, but watching from the sideline, we could see Juntoku Koda there limping a little bit and even kind of hosing down with the water bottle his right knee, and hopefully it looks like he's going to be trying to play through it here, but you have to wonder if maybe, especially in this kind of a situation with the sizable lead, it may be best for him to, just say, hey, look, I may need to sit the rest of the game out.
Just a little over 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us on IMG Academy TV. Also with the YouTube and Facebook streams. And now we await the Ascender punt. Wind starting to pick up a little and swirl in Bradenton. And it is a fake. And it is, I believe that's Brini gets the first down and breaks to the 25-yard line. So almost put it on the ground, and it looks like he mishandled the direct snap. But the 4th and goal, I had just mentioned the trick play, and there it was. The fake punt goes for a first.
Well, and a great recovery again. I mean, we both saw that ball, and now it's never a good sign. He was able to recover it there and make for a great run.
1st and 10 from the West Oaks 26-yard line. And another quarterback checking in. Believe this is Noah Russell, wearing number 5 tonight. Now the snap. The hand is to Coda. Hiding behind that big right tackle. Nice block set up by Derek Calixte.
Noah Russell, the new quarterback, hands off to Coda. Brought down by Levante Redding.
Coda again redefining 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as he has been pretty good at getting just those few yards that he needs every touch he's had so far.
Well, and again, he's effective and he's quick, and the truth of the matter is that, they've realized that really his weakness is just grabbing him by the shoes there, and that's how they've been able to trip him up so far.
Now Russell takes the snap and keeps it himself and gets stood up and thrown down. Nice gang tackle there.
Russell taken down by number 14.
Sinquendrick Teague
on the play.
On the tackle.
Now, for West Oaks, number 22, Jalen Jenkins actually went after Coda on that fake there. Totally bought in on the fake, and to the point of even knocking Coda down. It looks like he actually might have hurt himself in that process.
So Noah Russell back in shotgun, 1 receiver to his right, 2 to the left. We'll see if they let the young quarterback go to the air. And they give to Coda again, who's got space. And he loses the football, and Russell is able to fall on it.
This is Coda who takes it up the
And it looks like they will bring on the Cameron Gillis and the field goal unit to try and add 3. And they were going to need 2 scores anyway to get to that 35-point mark. And Lucero back on as the holder. And for Gillis, this will be a 36-yard attempt. Wind a little bit at his back and blowing a little from east to west.
Gillis will attempt the field goal.
And facing the south end zone. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And for Cameron Gillis, he adds 3 more from 36 yards out. And that puts the Ascenders up 30-0. So first time we've seen the field goal unit today. And Cameron Gillis is 1 for 1.
And your score, IMG 30 and West Oaks nothing.
One of the things that this West Oaks team needs to keep in mind is, again, this is a very different program. It's a very different school. Really, this is a learning opportunity for them, that's going to expose a lot of the weaknesses, a lot of the areas that they need to work on. They started off the game with a lot of penalties, but really have been able to keep it pretty under control here in the second half of the game.
1:03 remaining. And while we get ready for the kickoff, take some time to thank our sponsors. Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. Without them, IMG football would not be nearly as successful as it is. Under Armour, the official outfitter of IMG Academy. Gatorade keeps them hydrated, and Stream Sports keeps us up and running on the internet. Now Gillis, after adding 3 points, will try and pin West Oaks Academy back. He gets under that one. A low-driven kick will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So 80 yards, West Oaks still trying to break through on that score sheet. It's 30-0 in favor of the Ascenders.
Well, and this is where even if they were to try to change strategy after the half, this is a team that's likely already exhausted because, as you said, everybody on this roster is playing more than one position. Many of them are playing both sides of the field, and so now going into the fourth quarter here, I mean, these guys, especially as heavy as it weighs on them to be 30 points down, I mean, it certainly is not a position they want to be in, and it only makes that just that being tired that much heavier on you.
Just heard the coaching staff screaming for Sky Stefanik to sub in. And now, nice run.
Cox on the carry.
Again, Demetrius Cox has been the big playmaker for West Oaks Academy as the Ascender defense bends a little bit, allows a first down, but they have been few and far between for the Flame today.
That was a really odd situation there, and that's why I even paused in the middle what I was saying. I mean, there was probably about a half a dozen people yelling on the sideline, and I mean, you'd thought a building was on fire. That's how fast he was running out there on the field.
Now we'll see Ramesh Shaw, and you'll see some different personnel on the defense for the Ascenders, and pressure coming. Nice tackle. Stood up. Montre Johnson, the fullback. Number 49 on the tackle. Do not hit that
Hawkins, number 49.
updated number. It is Hawkins.
We have an injury timeout on the field.
And Johnson, after that carry, is still down on the field. Looks like he was reaching for his shoulder. Also now seeing Roy Russell cramping up. 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Thank you again for sticking with us. This is a much quicker broadcast than we had a few weeks ago as the IMG Blue Team kicked off at 7 o'clock, hosting Miami Central.
Well,
5 hours later, we got to get out of here.
And I'm glad that we've been able to break that weather streak that we'd been on, where it seemed like it was just like one play and then a weather delay.
Yeah,
and,
we had multiple weather delays here in Bradenton, lots of lightning at the beginning of September, and a couple games even canceled and postponed. This game actually, I believe, was originally supposed to be at West Oaks Academy, but they rescheduled it to the 13th tonight and changed it into a home contest for the Ascenders. Made it the homecoming game as well.
Well, today, I come from Tampa, and earlier today as I was driving around a little bit, there was some rain, and I'm like, oh, please, not tonight.
And the way that Montre Johnson is holding his arm, it might be maybe popped his shoulder out or took a nasty hit. It's often when you see people holding their arm like that, that's something you see also when a collarbone might get broken. So you want to hope that he's okay. And
he seems to be dropping it too, as to not make an effort to kind of put too much effort into picking that shoulder up.
And that's going to hurt because he has been one of the big offensive stars for West Oaks Academy tonight. Now we go back to Ramesh Shaw at quarterback, who's made a lot happen with his feet. We'll see what they do on 2nd and 10. And they run that option. And Shaw keeps it. Falls forward.
This is Shaw on the keeper.
Getting initial contact on him, though.
Slowed down by Evans, number 45.
It's Caleb Evans down the far sideline.
48.
Third and some distance. And that is the end of the third quarter. When we get back, it'll be 3rd and 5. West Oaks from their own 45. Currently, IMG 30, West Oaks 0. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. back. Fourth quarter action for the IMG Ascenders, the white squad. 3rd and 5 from West Oaks 45. And they have got some work to do. They are currently trailing by 30. An I formation. Ramesh Shaw under center. Takes the snap. Now rolls to his right. They run the option, and this is going to be a toss pass. Alondra Strong looking for his second interception, but great coverage. Trying to find DeAndre Walden and just able to knock it down.
For DeAndre Walden.
Smart attempt on the trick play, but Alondra Strong, again, one of the better defensive backs for this Ascenders team, and able to jump up and knock that down. So now on 4th and 5, we'll almost certainly see a hard count to try to draw IMG offside. Now changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Play clock currently not running. They move into I formation. And false start. And it was in fact the hard count. And instead it was so good it fooled his own wide receivers and
Start against West
causes
Oaks.
the infraction.
Ball back to the 40-yard line.
So now at 4th and 10, you almost assume that they might have to punt, but down 30, they really got nothing to lose. And again, you can just see the fatigue on the West Oaks Academy team. So now they're going to run out to the left. And Shaw almost gets the first down, but stood up just shy.
Well, again, you got to remember
And the official is actually going to give them the spot. And that is not a good call.
Again, you got to imagine the majority of this West Oaks team has really been playing twice the amount of time as any of the IMG players.
Good enough for the first down.
So just on the other side of midfield into Ascender territory. So on 4th and 10, they're able to make some magic happen as the clock continues to wind. Ramesh Shaw back under center. Takes the snap, the pitch, and now they're looking to do a double reverse, and it is Walden down the far side. And that play, now they're going to bring out the entire bag of tricks.
This is Walden on the end around.
So the little double reverse works for a first down.
This is another West Oaks first down. Ball at the 33-yard line.
Spotted at the 33. And now 2 positive big plays for the Flame. Very similar to the way they, not the West Oaks Academy Flames, the Flame, very similar to the way the Stanford collegiate team is not the Cardinals, but the Cardinal. So no S at the end for West Oaks Academy. Back in I formation. They go up the middle to Cox, who is stood up immediately.
Cox, the ball carrier.
Also, Jonathan, one of the things that we also like to talk about is just the amount of these kids that do go on to play on Saturdays. You'll see a bunch of former IMG Ascenders. A couple in action right now tonight on a Clemson team that is currently losing to Syracuse. And we know that on the blue team, Xavier Thomas, one of the best defensive ends in the entire country, committed to Clemson. So no doubt he's watching that game with,
That's absolutely right.
with bated breath right now.
Well, and some of these guys, also have offers on the table, so they haven't fully committed yet, and I'm sure they're watching the season very closely, especially a game like that.
And now the snap, pressure coming, looking downfield, a beautiful pass, and just outside of the reach of Walden. One of the big announcements this week also from the blue team defensive back Houston Griffith. One of the most offered players in the country, had 37 offers on the table, made his decision to go to Florida State University.
Wow. Well, and unfortunately we saw that, you know, their season got off to a rough start with the loss of their quarterback. You know, and so it's one of these things where it's probably, you know, they might just call this season a wash and be, you know, planning ahead for the next season.
And DeAndre Francois, who you just mentioned, also former IMG Academy quarterback, as is Kellen Mond at Texas A&M, and also Shea Patterson at Ole Miss. So IMG has had a good record of pumping out starting D1 quarterbacks, as now we see Shaw with the hand up the middle. It is Cox, runs out to the right, tries to get by one. There's a helmet off and a flag on the field.
The ball carrier.
And Javon Giordani was not too happy. He just put his arms up because his helmet was ripped off, probably on a block, and due to Florida high school rules, he actually has to leave the field for one play.
Well, and I think he was expecting for the referees to maybe, you know, call the play dead, you know, as soon as that helmet came off. And but I don't think anything's really going to stop this game at this point.
3rd and 11 was the ruling, and looks like there are offsetting penalties, so we will replay 3rd and 10.
Offsetting penalties.
Well, and that I think may end up ended up being the loophole that's going to keep Giordani, Javon on the field there, even though his helmet did come off.
So it was an illegal shift against West Oaks Academy and the face mask against the Ascenders. So we'll replay 3rd down. Just over 9 minutes remaining. Ramesh Shaw. Still in at quarterback now in shotgun. The hand is up the middle and being shut down quickly is Levante Redding.
Redding, the ball carrier, number 21.
So 4th and a ways to go to keep this drive alive before giving the ball back to IMG. An opportunity, though, to keep this drive alive and get the first possible points.
Well, it's certainly the best field position they've had in quite a while in this game. And so, again, you know, we had mentioned it last time when they had great field position. You know, the object here or the goal here should be to stay penalty free and make the plays that you can accomplish. And that way you can inch ever so much closer to the end zone.
4th and 6, and now they try that double reverse again to Walden. And it works again as he gets the outside edge to the 20 and is shoved out of bounds in the red zone. So the knocking on the door is West Oaks Academy trying to get the first points of the game.
Gain on a 1st down for West Oaks.
So another 4th down conversion keeps their drive alive. 1st and 10 from the Ascender 12. We've seen this a few times this season also, both with the white and the blue team, Jonathan, where you have a team that gets this close and then, you know, you start getting excited that you're this close to the end zone and then all of a sudden you cough the ball up.
Yeah.
We'll see what the Ascender defense can do on this play.
This is where you see the mistakes happen.
Now Shaw under center. The hand is up the middle for Redding, and they put it on the ground. And the Ascenders recover.
Redding with the
well, there you see it again.
He puts it on the ground and picked up by Hawkins.
1st and 10.
You know,
I feel like I just predicted that, Jonathan.
That's exactly right. Well, and it's one of these things that when you leave an opportunity open for a turnover, IMG is going to capitalize on it every single time. Doesn't matter the blue team, the white team, they're going to capitalize on it and make you pay for it.
And there you saw the frustration on Levante Redding as he was walking off the field, and he's going to stay on, and it looks like they're bringing the offense back on. Actually, no, just the same players. They had some personnel issues, and the hand up the middle falling forward.
June Koda.
That is Juntoku Koda.
quarterback. It's Jackson Zager, number 16.
And there is a new quarterback in for IMG. Jackson Zager out of Westport, Connecticut. Part of the class of 2021. Zager takes the snap. Gives Dakota, who's got space, and he's again tackled down after a short gain.
Levante Redding, number 21, in on the stop.
So now 3rd and 5 for the Ascenders. And with a lot of the younger players, Juntoku Koda, a member of the senior class, so again, getting a lot of different age groups in. We'll see how the freshman Zager does on this play. He's got one receiver to his left, 2 to his right. Juntoku Koda in the backfield, the clock winding down. And the snap is there. The hand is to Koda, who's got space, keeps his balance, and falls forward close to the first down, and looks like he is going to get it. So running down the clock is the Ascenders offense, and doesn't look like West Oaks is in any hurry to slow this game down at all. And now at this point in the game, you just want to make sure that you can stay healthy for next week. Zager takes the snap. The hand to Koda again. This time he is stuffed in the backfield. Fights forward.
Koda up the middle, brought down by Timothy Stevens.
Well, again, here's where you're going to see some players that maybe haven't gotten any field time come on. They're going to maybe try some plays that they haven't tried. This is where they get a bit experimental here, especially, when they know that West Oaks is tired, and of course the score is weighing on them. They want to take advantage of this opportunity to try some things in a real-time situation and see how they work out.
Now you see the tight end, Montavious Brini, in at tailback. And the hand is to Brini. And he fights forward and moves a pile of four flame.
Montavious Brini, number 27.
And fights forward and tries to get to the 30-yard line, brought down to the 29. The yard to gain looks like it's the 32-yard line. So 3rd and 3 from their own 29. Clock ticking away. Now under 5.5 minutes remaining. You can see Bryson Lucero on the sideline assisting with some of those play shifts. Play clock continues to wind. Zager takes the snap, and the hand is to Brini, and he is shut down in the backfield and tries to keep his balance and will be tackled for a loss, so that will be a punting situation for the Ascenders.
Dropped in the backfield. Brought down by Sinquendrick Teague, number 14.
Sinquendrick Teague getting credit for the tackle. We'll see Cameron Gillis come on with the IMG punting unit. And last time we saw the punting unit out, it was a fake and eventually got them into field goal range. Snap is back. Pressure coming. Gillis gets into this one end over end and takes a very favorable Ascender bounce down to the 33-yard line. Almost caught one of those trailers and Captain Andre Nikolochkin. So 1st and 10 for West Oaks, and what's probably going to be one of the last drives of the contest tonight.
Well, really, what would you say are the takeaways for IMG here? I mean, it's been a fairly solid game. They've had some penalties, but not to the extent that we've seen in previous games.
Takeaway is just the white team is progressing. Obviously, they opened the season with a big loss to St. Stephen's right down the road, one of the first local schools that decided to take on IMG Academy and the white team. But they've gotten their stuff together with the big win over Kingdom Prep.
Yep.
Right now, a big scoreline for IMG over West Oaks as well.
I mean, again, this being a new team, you would expect, right, that they have to find their rhythm, right, find their chemistry. We've seen that tonight, earlier tonight from Lucero and Coda, and this team finally seems to really be finding their rhythm.
So Shaw going to try to put West Oaks on the board, and he is sacked for a huge loss.
Russell is dropped in the backfield.
I believe that was Rudder Romo, number 57, out of Anchorage, Alaska. So not just many countries, but many different states in the U.S. represented.
It's about as far as you can get. Well, and really to note, especially with the defensive team out there, is also that the one thing that you do see carry over, I think, on both teams is how strong the defense is, how consistent they are, what a force they are to reckon with, and the fact that you don't see them make a lot of mistakes.
And if they do, they're able to recover.
Yeah.
And a timeout is called with 3:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. Senders leading the Flame 30-0. When we come back, it'll be a 2nd and 23 after that 13-yard sack by Rudder Romo. I want to thank our sponsors again, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. Without them, IMG Academy TV would not be possible. You see all the Gatorade on the sideline and players, and see the one of the IMG Ascender hats there with the Under Armour logo. IMG's had a great...
That's the hat I want. I need that hat right there.
IMG has had a great relationship with Under Armour over the last few years, which has also allowed some world-renowned talent to come here, specifically from the English Premier League. The Tottenham Hotspur coming for last 3 years IMG's Cup.
Well, that's coming up shortly.
That'll be in usually it's the first week of December, also around the same time as the Nike International Friendlies that take place also in Lakewood Ranch. But you've seen the United States men's national team play there. You've seen Portugal, England, Brazil, one of the biggest world showcases. And most of those teams, a lot of them do train here as well. And now pressure coming. Shaw looking for the big play downfield, throws across the middle end. It is caught and then finally dragged down is the captain, Nikoluchkin.
Number 12 over the middle.
Well, I don't think I'd ever seen a jersey stretch that much there. I mean, there was just no getting away in that situation there. This IMG team is relentless. They are not letting West Oaks get away with anything, even with 30 points on the board.
And that is Jaden Curry who is down. Looks like he's shaking off like it might not be not necessarily be a cramp, but we've still got him hydrating. He's going to try and get up. And
yeah, certainly massaging, kind of his upper thigh.
It looks like he's actually looked like he wanted to stay out on the field for a second, but he'll come off for a play.
Well, and again, there's no need, especially with the at this point in the game. It's better for him to come off, make sure that he gets it looked at, maybe start stretching, cooling down to go into the locker room.
And our next home broadcast will be October 27th. That will be this white team again, taking on West Park Prep. Pre-game coverage will begin at 6:45. Now 3rd and 9 from their own 34-yard line from Shaw. Pressure coming in. He is in trouble. He gets slammed in the backfield, and
Shaw's pass incomplete for Cox.
that will bring up 4th down.
Alondra Strong, number 23, defending.
Again, Alondra Strong having his name called yet again He's been a fantastic player on the defensive side of the ball tonight. Fourth and 10, probably the last offensive play for West Oaks. Pressure coming, the throw across, and it is intercepted, and the Ascenders might take it back.
Oh, boy.
And cutting back across the field, that is Alondra Strong. He's to the 20. And then finally brought down, but a very short field for the Ascenders.
He was finally brought down by shot number 2, and IMG will have a first and 10.
Well, and there was no doubt about that catch. It was low to the ground, you know, that interception there, but there was a referee right in front of it when it happened. Obviously, the catch was good and made a pretty surprising run. You know, saw that there wasn't a lot of room ahead of him and was had the visibility enough to come far out to his left, and again put them in scoring position even with just a little under 2 minutes left in the game.
So Noah Russell. Or correction there, that will be Isaac Pinero. Looks like they are just going to be in a victory formation and allow this clock to run out. If the clock operator would start it, there it goes. Again, after what we thought might be a long night on that first play by Jay Taylor on offense,
yeah,
he was able to bounce back over 100 yards rushing tonight. Some great key players, Junsoku Koda getting a touchdown pass, Chandler Magruder, as well as a Jay Taylor touchdown run. And that was it. You also had the Cameron Gillis touchdown, and it's just been a fantastic effort from IMG. Also had the Nick Tapino 18-yard touchdown where he made all of that happen starting from the 20 and then finally brought it in.
Well, I'm taking a look back at the keys to the game, you know, that we got at the start of the game. Really, I think they were able to follow through on those. You know, it's one of these things where typically they miss one or two of the points. I feel pretty good about them being able to stick to these, especially when slowing down the fast tempo of the offense. I mean, they really shut down West Oaks' passing game. They were really West Oaks, you know, had some success in the running game, but they were able to slow them down, which is what you need against a defense of this size. And they know that a fast offense is a weakness for this team.
We talked about also having to win on special teams, and we definitely saw that. The field goal unit was good the one time they were trotted out. Great punt coverage when they needed it, and also defending punts. And again, there was a little confusion as to how the clock should have been operated, so this will bring up 3rd down and 6 as they continue to take the team kneels. And this will be the last play of the game. Again, Isaac Pinero under center, just waiting to set up.
I mean, you have to wonder if you're standing there. I mean, we're watching them here on what's about the 15-yard line, and being so close to the end zone, you know, you wonder if they just want that one last shot to put just six or 7 more points on the board.
And as the clock winds down, that will conclude our Friday night. Your final score from Bradenton: IMG Academy 30, West Oaks Academy 0. So a bit of a bus ride back to Orlando, Florida, but again, they played a tough game. They did get some great plays off, some trick plays, and there's definitely, not a game when you go up against IMG. Just because you didn't score doesn't mean you didn't play a good game. And
That's right.
they gave IMG a heck of a fight.
No, they absolutely did, especially when you look at the size of the team with only about 23, 24 players on their roster. A lot of those guys pulling double duty. I mean, to really, as you said, the score doesn't reflect it, but this was a very solid team. Not a lot of penalties. Really was able to capitalize on some big moments. Just wasn't able to get into the end zone.
And again, we would like to thank our proud sponsors for their continuous support of IMG Academy, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Stream Sports. I want to thank you for tuning into IMG Academy TV tonight for Ascender Football. We will be back October 27th for a matchup with West Park Prep. Pre-game coverage will start at 6:45, kickoff at 7. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. If you're an Ascender fan, we know you enjoyed the outcome, 30-0 over the West Oaks Flame. We will see you on October 27th. For my broadcast partner, Jonathan Torres, I am Ryan Sudol saying so long from Bradenton.